Think your lashes have hit their limit? Discover limitless length and full volume with Maybelline Sky High Mascara. The Flex Tower brush bends to volumize and extend every single lash from root to tip. And the lightweight bamboo-infused formula makes lashes feel weightless. Now in 8 bold shades so you can take your lashes to new heights every day. Visit Maybelline.com to shop Sky High Mascara now.
When the holidays start to feel a bit repetitive, reach for a Sprite Winter Spiced Cranberry and put your twist on tradition. A bold cranberry and winter spice flavor fusion, Sprite Winter Spiced Cranberry is a refreshing way to shake things up this sipping season. And only for a limited time. Sprite. Obey your thirst.
Oh, Hilton stay. Your beds are soft and cozy. No lumpy couch, no stiff futon, no shower line at crack of dawn. Oh, Hilton stay.
When you want holiday comfort you can count on, it matters where you stay. Enjoy comfortable rooms and friendly service when you stay with Hilton instead. Save up to 25% this season when you book with Hilton. Hilton for the stay. Terms apply.
There's nothing like taking a vacation in a warm and sunny location. It's refreshing, rejuvenating, and a great way to shake off the cobwebs of the day-to-day. But can the same be said for a franchise that was one bad joke away from feeling like it was put under house arrest? Find out if some surf, sand, and sun is the perfect combo, and if Police Academy 5 Assignment Miami Beach is not that bad. Welcome one and all to It's Not That Bad, the podcast that looks for A grades in B movies. Hello to all of our listeners in Valon, Germany, and around the world. How the heck are you guys doing? We're going on a little road trip ourselves this week as we get out of the confines of the Police Academy and make our way down to Miami Beach. And here to join me, the sunshine of my life, my lovely wife, Carrie. Carrie, how are you doing?
Aw, I'm doing great, but being that I look out the window to white, fluffy snowflakes, I could use a trip to Miami Beach.
Yeah. We are recording this in the snowfalliest part of winter so far here in Canada, and it's not pleasant, but watching this, you're like, oh, we could be somewhere else. We could be somewhere sunny, and it would be glorious. But also we'd have to get like the 80s haircuts and the 80s styles. But taking this film on the road to a whole different vibe, I know you were saying this was kind of a first watch for you. So coming off of 4, did the new location give this some freshness to the franchise?
I am noticing that with each movie, it gets funnier and funnier. And
except for 3.
Yeah. But I mean, from 4 onward, 4 was so funny, but this one had its moments. It had its, like typical trope humor where, someone's going to get the golf bag to the groin, because a golf bag to the groin is a golf bag to the groin.
For the record, dear comedy writers around the world, if you want my lovely wife Carrie to laugh at your film, make sure anyone, doesn't matter how, gets hit in the nuts with something. She likes the suffering.
The nut shot is definitely prerequisite for any comedy that I watch.
I feel like I need to add like a nut shot button to our soundboard, and every now and then just hit it and go, ooh, and then she'll like keel over and start laughing. But before we end up killing my wife with nut shot sounds, it's time to take Police Academy 5 Assignment Miami Beach and trailerize it.
The lunatics have fled the asylum. To help celebrate Commandant Lassard being named the police officer of the decade. And who the hell was he up against? Barney Fife and Boss Hogg? The squad is headed to Miami Beach. But no Mahoney, no problem. The rest of the gang is ready to party as only they know how. By tormenting Captain Harris like it's their job. Along the way, we'll meet Lassard's nephew Nick, who's ready to get his Gutenberg on with Kate Staton. Another officer with the right amount of blonde to think he's okay. But when a diamond heist goes very, very wrong, the gang is going to have to save Lassard from a group of crooks that will have you saying, oh no, oh no. Sun's out, guns out for these beach bums in Police Academy 5, Assignment Miami Beach. Rated PG for Party for George Gaines.
Oh.
Yeah, so we have to address the elephant in the room of this movie. No Steve Gutenberg for the remainder of the franchise. We also, along the way, lose Bobcat Goldthwait as Zed, and no Sweet Chuck in this film either. So we shed a few cops and we got some sun.
Are you saying they're not coming back?
I am saying Steve Gutenberg never returned to the franchise after Police Academy 4.
And Zed and Sweet Chuck?
Nope.
That's it. I'm out.
Now, I'm pretty sure they're not in 7, and I honestly have not seen 6 ever. So when we come back next week with Police Academy 6, I guess we're going to find out. So I'm literally at this point on new turf after Police Academy 5.
Fresh new recruit territory.
Exactly. But let's get into who is in this movie. The movie stars Michael Winslow, David Graff, Bubba Smith, Marion Ramsey, Leslie Easterbrook, Tab Thacker, George Gaines, G.W. Bailey, Lance Kinsey, George R. Robertson, Matt McCoy, Janet Jones, Renee Auberjonois, Archie Hahn, Ed Covens, and James Hampton. There's actually a small part with a big name attached to it in this film. Listed as Kid on Beach, Jerry O'Connell is actually in this movie in a much earlier role for him.
Oh, his secret identity?
Exactly, right?
Oh.
Now, there is actually an almost starring for this film. The original choice to play Tony, the head of the Diamond Thief group, was Harvey Korman, but he was no longer available or couldn't do the film, so Renee Auberjonois got the job. The film was directed by Alan Meyerson. This was the 4th and last film he ever directed. The film had a budget of $14 million. Domestically, it only made $19 million, but worldwide made $54 million. When it was released on the March 18th, 1988 weekend, it debuted at number 1 with $6 million. Also debuting that week was DOA, debuted at number 3 with $3.7 million. The number 2 film that week, in its 13th week in the theaters, was Good Morning Vietnam. Also rounding out the top 5 were Vice Versa and Masquerade. There is an accolade for this film. At the 1989 Kids' Choice Awards, it was nominated for Fave Movie of the Year, but lost naturally and with no question whatsoever to Who Framed Roger Rabbit, because that movie is freaking gold. But the reason why we are here, because we've been doing the same thing for about 5 weeks now, are the critics. Over at Rotten Tomatoes, this film has a 33% popcorn meter and a tomatometer of 0.
Oh.
The second straight 0 at Rotten Tomatoes for the Police Academy franchise.
Now hold on a moment, because 4 was also the Grand Donut.
Yes.
What is wrong with me? Because the movies I find the funniest are like critically panned.
Well, you married me, so that's usually the first thing I point to when you ask what's wrong with you.
What is wrong with me?
What is this, a Seinfeld routine now? What is the deal with me? The critics think they suck. I think they're great. What is the deal with that?
But, you had to make a podcast based on me liking bad movies.
So what is the deal with me at this point? But let's get the bigger picture here. Over at IMDb, it sits at a 46%. Metacritic has a meta score of only 18 at Letterboxd. It sits at 2.3 stars out of 5 for a 46% score. and the movie database sits at 52%, giving this film an aggravated aggregate of 32.5%. And to me, I'm kind of with you on this one. That feels egregiously low. Like, I don't know if it's better than 5. It's definitely better than 3. I enjoyed this one.
You know what? Of the 5 now, it's my second favorite.
Okay, right behind 4.
Yeah, because, 4 was a staple of my childhood. I grew up watching 4 and pretty much apparently only 4.
Well, I'm glad we are expanding your police academy horizons here.
Yes. Yeah, I have been to the academy this past month, and I learned not a damn thing.
I mean, at this point, we should at least have a lieutenant ranking.
You would think so.
Right?
Especially how fast the characters turn from your average everyday citizen to, officers of the law.
That's right. They are now citizens on patrol.
Right?
All right.
Cops.
Exactly. Let's get to the breakdown of this. And we're going to start with arguably the heart of this film. George Gaines returning as Commandant Eric Lassard. Your thoughts on him?
Aw. It's so nice that he got his
police officer of the decade. Also, who the hell was he running against?
I'm not trying to be a hater here, but it's always his police academy. It's his team. It's his school that solves the crimes and makes everything all right. I'm sorry, but what has he done exactly?
Well, first of all, the Citizens on Patrol program was his idea, first of all.
Fair.
Secondly, if you have a history of turning out the finest police officers, quote unquote, he says, with the quotation figures that you'll never see on an audio podcast, he has built up the ranks of the police force in his city. And clearly, there's a line in this film, and I think it sums up why Lassard would get this kind of award. And it's all like, this is when Harris is really kind of ass-kissing to try to weasel in his spot to take over the police academy once Lassard is retired. And it's said to him, it's like, they respect Lassard. Does anyone respect you? That's the biggest thing about the character of Commandant Lassard, is that every one of the main cast, obviously the Harrises and the Proctors aside kind of thing, every one of the main squad so looks up to Commandant Lassard. And this film, like, I'm watching this film, and I know, little Police Academy trivia here, there's only 3 people who have been in every single one of the Police Academy films, all 7 of them. Michael Winslow, David Graff, and George Gaines.
Oh, you're putting it out there now.
I am putting it out there now.
You should have saved that for the final show.
But the thing is, this film felt like it was going to be his last.
You know what, though? Yes, but it's also kind of like a double-edged sword, because they were also talking about his forced retirement, which the scene that was dropped on him, you could just tell his sadness. He was basically lost. He was completely lost. What do I do with my life now? It was so sad.
But the thing is, he was always that lovable character. And I loved the fact that the main central raison d'etre for them going to Miami Beach was this celebration and Lassard getting the award. It felt like a celebration of everything that George Gaines had brought to the franchise at this point. It felt like a thank you to George Gaines.
True. I absolutely love the turnaround where at first he thinks he's kind of involved in a role-playing, kidnapping and jewel heist with these bad guys.
Very much akin to the film The Man Who Knew Too Little, starring Bill Murray.
Exactly. And he's feeding them a getaway plan and listing their demands for them and everything. And he's having fun and he's going along with it. And that moment when he's like, oh, this is for real? These are true criminals? And then he fights back and just that, the look in his eyes, it was like, oh, I get to play now.
Do you know what this movie is? It's Cars 2.
Oh?
Think about it, right? Cars 1. The focus, of course, is on Lightning McQueen. Ka-chow! And all that kind of stuff, right? Think of Lightning McQueen as Mahoney, right? And he's the center. Even though there's this vast cast of characters all around him, Lightning McQueen is Mahoney. Now you get to Cars 2, and the film's all of a sudden all about Mater. And they're on the road. They're away from Radiator Flats or whatever, Radiator Springs. And it focuses on Mater in this fish out of water. He's in this situation. He doesn't quite get the situation and the gravity of the situation because he thinks it's all whatever. This is Cars 2.
Also, could we just talk about the fish for a second? How many days did he leave that fish in the bag before going to take care of his fish that he somehow was able to successfully get through airport security in a fishbowl of water, which was probably above the allowed milliliter of water.
I'm just gonna put this out there. I'm pretty sure, like, you know how there are scenes where, you know, the rest of the team kind of steps in and like catches the flying fishbowl and all this. I'm pretty sure when Lassard's not looking, every now and then they have to go in and swap the fish for a live one instead of the one that was already killed.
Oh, that's part of their unspoken job description.
Exactly. Don't let
Fish
Lassard
wrangler.
think that the fish is dead.
Yeah.
And it went where I did go.
In Walmart Sue Louisville, time was ticking away. Only a few nights left till the big holiday. But last-minute gifters had no need to worry. Walmart Express Delivery got their gifts in a hurry. From Nintendo to Nespresso and Lego flowers, they could check off their lists in as fast as an hour. All of Who'Newville, East, West, South, and North could order gifts up until 5 p.m. on December 24th. So this holiday, just do as the Who's do. With gift delivery this fast, they all gasped. From Walmart, who knew? Subject to availability, terms and fees apply.
My name is Percy Jackson. Getting in trouble is like breathing for me.
The hit series returns to Disney Plus and Hulu.
The danger the camp is under is greater than you can possibly imagine.
For the key to our survival, 3 of you must quest to the Sea of Monsters.
Let's go do the impossible.
Percy Jackson and the Olympians. New season 2-episode premiere December 10th on Disney Plus and Hulu. Learn more at disneyplus.com/what's on.
Hey, Fidelity. What's it cost to invest with the Fidelity app?
Start with as little as $1 with no account fees or trade commissions on U.S. stocks and ETFs.
That's music to my ears.
I can only talk.
Investing involves risk, including risk of loss. Zero account fees apply to retail brokerage accounts only. Sell order assessment fee not included. A limited number of ETFs are subject to a transaction-based service fee of $100. See full list at fidelity.com/commissions. Fidelity Brokerage Services, LLC, member NYSE, SIPC.
Michael Winslow returning as Sergeant Jones. Your thoughts on him?
Yes, absolutely love every, you know what? Every scene, he's just so fun and, you know, so important with his sound effects.
Right? I mean, let's be honest. The metal detector scene at the airport is one of the best scenes for Jones in this film.
Oh my God. And he brought back the horse neigh.
Yes.
Did you catch that? It was so in passing, but it's like, oh yeah, that's how to get him.
But that's the interesting thing here is that, and I'll get this out of the way now. The last couple of films felt a little muddied. 3 especially, 4 not so much. Because you were trying to introduce all these brand new characters and that you still had the original group all together. And it felt like there were way too many characters for what little plot there were, what little gags there were. Here, we've pared it down to 2 new characters and the original squad minus a couple bodies here and there. This feels like a much more evenly distributed list of jokes and gags and comedy in this film. So a character like Jones, A, is going to be able to take a little bit more of a leadership mantle now that Mahoney's gone, but B, you have everyone gets their moments. And Jones normally gets his moments, but he feels more important here. Bubba Smith returning as Sergeant Hightower. Your thoughts on this?
Yes. So much growth, in the characters, as you mentioned, in Jones, in Hightower, in Tackleberry, right?
Yeah.
Like, you see them progress, probably through the ranks of the police force. I'm not quite sure what their designation would be at this point.
I do love the fact that Hightower gets more to do in this film. Like, that's been my biggest complaint. Like, in the first film, you set him up with much more backstory and you built him up to be this really great character. And 2 is okay. 3, you completely glossed over him. 4, you brought him back more into the fold. 5, you feel like you're getting much more of him. And even though the jokes still kind of live on the fact that he's big and tall and scary looking, they're more in fun at this point. Not like bad guys coming up to him. The whole scene where he's playing volleyball and beating everybody by himself, that's the perfect gag for a character like Hightower. But yet you still have him as this gentle giant. And I think this film does him better when there's fewer people around. David Graff, once returning as Sergeant Tackleberry, your thoughts on him?
Yes. Now, I have to question how he was able to get his guns to Miami through airport security.
Well, I mean, obviously he is. I'm sure they're not in his carry-on. I mean, yes, his police baton was on carry-on because, of course, he was scaring the crap out of the guy beside him on the plane.
Well, that too, right? Like, how is it he was allowed to bring that onto the plane?
Your guess is as good as mine. This is the 80s. Airline security was not as top-notch as it was.
Apparently, you can get a fish through.
Yes, well, it's not metal.
Fair.
It's not going to set off the detector. It's going to look real weird, but it's not going to set off the detector. Tackleberry has the best gags in this film. The standoff against the shark.
Oh my God, yeah.
Right? But also like the scene where he like comes out of the swamp water like Rambo with the machine gun, like in a scene that completely rips off Rambo. It's like, yes, you have the moment now. Because also keep in mind, like the whole thing with Jones in the previous films, being a kung fu type expert or a martial arts expert, leaned into the fact that ninjas were cool in the 80s. Also big in the 80s, films like Rambo, films like Commando, films like the Missing in Action series with Chuck Norris, like all these badass guys with guns kind of movies. That was staples of the 80s.
Well, you had the Jaws scene, like you mentioned, where he's pulling the gun on the shark and it turns and swims away. The alligator wrestling at the end. Like,
well, that was Hightower.
With Hightower,
yeah.
I know, but that was like, it was almost like they were taking from every notable movie property.
Yeah.
You know?
But that's the thing. Like, you have a character like Tackleberry who you have basically patterned as a comedic style Rambo kind of character.
I was thinking more Crocodile Dundee.
Okay, fair enough. But the fact that Tackleberry is such a gun nut, lean into that style of parody and it works so well.
True.
Leslie Easterbrook returning as Lieutenant Callahan, and she gets to be a little bit more badass now in this one.
Yes. And you know what? I love that she was there. I
Mm-hmm.
love that, you know, as you mentioned, it's a mix now of the original police force or the cadets from the first, the first group.
And Callahan being that one instructor that helped train them in that first film. Yeah.
Exactly. And then mix in, the new ones. I mean, House was part of this movie, which was so much fun.
Really? Because I don't think they gave Tab Thacker much to do aside from make like one or two spots where it was a joke about his size. And I felt like Tab Thacker was probably the least served character by the script here.
You know what? Of all of the new recruits, I don't know. is it me? I would have liked to have seen more of David Spade and his pal there.
Well, David Spade in 4 was actually considered to kind of take on the spot that Mahoney had taken, because of course Mahoney wasn't going to be in 5. But they felt that David Spade wasn't a big enough name to carry that central role in Police Academy 5.
Don't they know who he became?
Well, no one really knows who anyone becomes when they're doing it in the moment. But I can see, like, if you have someone, Mahoney is the central character of the first 4 films. Like, he's, the leader, or at least the unspoken leader of that group. And for Mahoney to not be there in Miami Beach, you needed someone to take that role, as played by Matt McCoy, returning as Nick Lassard. But I want to get back to Callahan for a second here. This film felt like the first time that we got away from the, student infatuated or with Callahan kind of thing. You made her badass. Even the scene where they're trying to rescue Lassard from the hotel room, where she's teaming up with Hooks and with Kate and storming them looking like maids. It's like, great, you have her doing cop things now, and this is awesome. But yes, Matt McCoy, introduced as Nick Lassard, the nephew of Commandant Eric Lassard. First film for him in the franchise. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I'm curious if you're going to get as upset about, a police officer that just feels almost entitled enough to put his hands on another officer.
Mm.
He came off as confident and, in charge and very good at his job, right? He busted the criminal that was
the purse snatcher in the airport,
the purse snatcher at the airport. But the scene at the beach, where he's just kind of going up and like rubbing the shoulders of another officer, that was pretty...
A little forward, yeah.
A little forward, a little, everything you hated about Mahoney.
Well, here's the interesting thing. So when they were writing this film, they were still obviously in contract negotiations with Steve Guttenberg. And when that fell apart and Guttenberg didn't come back, a lot of those scenes were Mahoney scenes, and they just kind of got transported to Nick Lassard.
I can see that now.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm agreeing with you that, yes, it was kind of it's a very Mahoney scene. And I'm sure if it was Mahoney, people would be like, oh, that's just Mahoney being Mahoney. But the difference here, though, the biggest difference in this is that for once, the woman fights back and Kate judo flips him into the pool. And I'm like, finally.
And I love that. I absolutely love that. But you got to wonder, like, the HR department of this police academy.
Well, no, remember, he's with Miami Police. He's not eventually part of the police academy.
Fair.
But I mean, the thing is, it's got to be daunting. You're now 5 films into a franchise, and the biggest name on the poster is no longer there after 4 films of creating an iconic character, and you got to step into that spot. Not as Mahoney, but as a different character who becomes the de facto Mahoney. That's got to have a lot of weight attached to that. Okay,
but he was also like the nephew.
Right.
So of course he's gonna kind of come into his role easily, because of that nepotism factor.
Makes me wonder, because you remember in Police Academy 2, their first assignment, the squad goes over to a different Lassard's police precinct, Eric Lassard's brother. So is this the son of Howard Hessman's character?
Oh, interesting.
Mm-hmm. Now, if that's the case, then I think casting someone who looks like Matt McCoy kind of works well. Because if you were to put Howard Hessman cast as Matt McCoy's father, the casting kind of makes sense. There's a similar look there. So I kind of like that. But yeah, like, it's got to be tough to step into that role in that cast, be the new guy. And now, oh, by the way, you're also kind of the Mahoney of this. It's like, what? But I think that scene, and I agree with you, that scene where he just walks up to Kate and starts massaging her and she judo flips him, that's the better intro for the character of Kate as played by Janet Jones. Your thoughts on her?
I liked her. I liked, again, the strong female character that, I mean, we've obviously seen in the past, but for a new character to, again, have that strength and that confidence.
The thing is, though, aside from the judo flip, right, and then it's discovered that she's teaching like the martial arts exhibit at this police convention, you don't really develop her much past that, right? And this seems to be the common theme with every female character designed to be a love interest for a Mahoney or Mahoney-like character.
I kind of disagree because there was that scene where they're all dressed like maids and she kicks ass.
She's absolutely does kick ass.
Totally pivotal and important to that scene.
I think I'm not far off in saying that of all the characters, and you have to think of them in like, you know, almost like a position role, right? Mahoney was the leader of the team. So of course now Nick Lassard comes in and he takes over that spot. Obviously, the fact that you still have Jones and Hightower and Tackleberry and all these positions, you have people in those roles in their almost like a ranking, right? Like a hierarchy of command kind of thing. So for the person who comes in as the love interest for the main pivotal person, right? Matt McCoy's gonna be your main pivotal person, Sergeant Nick Lassard. Then you have the character here. This continues the role of the Karen Thompson and the Karen Adams, like those characters from Police Academies 1 and 3. And then, of course, somehow the reporter, Sharon Stone, in Police Academy 4. Of all the people who have found themselves in that position in a cast like this, Janet Jones, I think that character of Kate Stratton had the best, most police-like presence. Like really, truly, honestly, felt like that character belonged. And remember too, dear listeners, when we're talking about actors, we're talking about the roles that they're playing. We're not talking about things that they've done in real life. So, you know, forget about the whole NHL gambling ring thing about Janet Jones. Forget about it. Okay. We're just talking about fictional characters and the performance that happened in 1988. Cool? Cool. So, Janet Jones, I think, kind of took the belt from that slot in like the Police Academy template of characters. Marion Ramsey, of course, returning as Sergeant Hooks. I think, personal opinion, this is the film that best serves Hooks.
Yes, I completely agree. And I was so looking forward to talking about her growth as an actress and as a police woman. Like she is so much more confident and so much more in charge. And I'm so happy. I'm happy to see it. I love that for her.
Right? Because I mean, let's be honest. Like, yes, she was pivotal in 1. And they spent a lot of time and really developed that character in the first one. And then 2, 3, and 4, especially 4, she really felt so glossed over. So I'm really happy that you have a more compact size cast to work with so you can give Hooks those moments. And she got them and she nailed them. G.W. Bailey returning as Captain Harris, the captain we all love to hate. Your thoughts on him?
You know, it's funny you mentioned that. I actually, as much as you love to hate him, I loved him in this movie. His, you know, we must go first class, VIP, and then winds up flying, a private plane full of
it's a private flight, all right.
Animals. And I love that he shows up to Miami Beach like completely covered in feathers and
Chicken
Probably
droppings.
Poop.
Those aren't eggs.
Love
Those
it.
aren't eggs.
Oh.
I agree with you. And of course, Harris is always such a fun foil for the rest of the Academy. But there's one scene, and it feels out of character for Harris. There's the scene where they're at the bar, and this is after, of course, he gets the dork tan, which the dork tan is brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. There's actually a on the box set that we got of these films, there's a little behind the scenes featurette on this film that we were watching afterwards. And he was saying that even years after, people were still coming up to going, "Hey, dork," because that is just, it's such a funny 80s moment. And dork is such an 80s word, though. It really is.
I'm actually surprised that he didn't choose butt wipe, because that's exactly what he was called, right? So it would have been the perfect turnaround.
Yeah, but you got to have room on the chest to be able to write something, and dork kind of works.
But wipe, right? Like, make it 2 words, make it bigger.
Dork is easier.
I know.
But dork is such an 80s word.
It was so funny.
And it's such a PG word, though.
It's true.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, you could say dork to anybody, and, you could say dork in a G-rated film, you'd be fine. But the thing is, there's the scene at the bar where he gets, like, the handful of change. He starts coming up to this girl and starts hitting on her kind of thing by trying to guess her. And it is the ickiest scene ever written for Harris.
But so funny, where they light his hat on fire.
Yeah, that Proctor is hilarious in that scene, but Harris, okay, tell me you didn't get the ick factor from Harris.
Yeah, but I mean, that is, I think that's so classic to his character, right? He's just, no, really, think about it. He is the quintessential ass kiss, kind of seedy. He was the one that broke in to the office and, rifled through the files to find.
Yeah, but that's not hitting on a girl at the bar with like the worst one-liners ever. Like, how he didn't get slapped harder than he did in that scene, like,
which really would have been kind of perfect if he hit on the wrong girl and she like clobbered him.
I know, it just felt out of character. It did. It felt very out of character for Harris. The scene is great for Proctor, right? The whole where he tries to like put out the fire with the bourbon and it just catches more fire because guess what? It's flammable, and then, douses them with the dishwater. Like, that is a great Lance Kinsey Proctor scene. You just get the heebie-jeebies off of Harris. And like, I get the comedy of the moment, and G.W. Bailey does a good job of making him so sleazy and disgusting. You're adding another layer to Harris to not like, which is good. He's the character you're not supposed to like, right? It's wrestling rules 101. If you're a heel and you get a heel pop, you're doing a good job as a heel. If you get the crowd to boo you and throw things at you, preferably something light like just a rolled up piece of paper, don't throw anything at the wrestlers. Be good. But if you get a good heel pop, then you are a good heel. Harris gets good heel pops here, and you've now added a layer of skis to him. And I don't know if it worked, but when you consider it as the overall character, like, how can we find new ways to make Harris unlikable? Because that's the thing. If you're going to have a character to be a foil for the rest of the team, you have to find new ways to dislike him. And I think maybe this does work. Kind of talked myself around on this one. Lance Kinsey returning as Proctor. We talked a little bit about him, but your thoughts on him in this?
So fun. You know what? I think his character and his just wide-eyed, obedience to Captain Harris is just, it's perfect. And it gets better with every movie.
Yeah. This is also, I think, one of the more Pinky-ish kind of roles for him. If we're comparing Harris and Proctor to Pinky and the Brain, this is definitely the most Pinky-ish kind of role for him because he's just so clueless, but in like a well-meaning idiot, like a lovable loser kind of thing. Like, he's not a bad guy. He's just an He's just a lapdog who's also kind of a clueless buffoon.
I think my favorite scene, aside from the bar, was when he's trying so hard to be included to play volleyball with the team.
Or the frisbee, tossing the frisbee around. Yes.
Oh, was it frisbee?
It was frisbee, and then Hightower throws the frisbee at him, and it like knocks him off his feet.
And then he goes flying.
Right,
yeah.
but also remember the water skiing scene where he ends up out of his skis, and then he makes it back, and of course, like he's burned the holes in the wetsuit.
Yeah.
In two very specifically located spots, the left and the right butt cheeks, of course.
Yeah, it was a full moon that day.
It was, and very pale full moon at that too. Ugh. But the thing is, like, a character like Proctor is so good for physical comedy.
Yes.
Right? You can throw him around, you can toss him around, you can beat him up, you can do anything you want, and you're just going to sit and have a good chuckle because it's Proctor. And the more chaotic the slapstick, the better it works for a character like that. It was the same thing with Sweet Chuck. You could throw him into as many basketball hoops as you wanted, but it worked because Sweet Chuck was still a lovable character at the end of it. Proctor is Pinky. I wouldn't be surprised if somewhere along the road when they were making Pinky in the Brain, they had Proctor in mind.
Yeah, but that's been going on since the dawn of time. Like the Honeymooners.
Yeah.
And you had like Ralph and Art was always his
hey, Ralphie boy.
Comedic sidekick, you know?
But also Wayne and Garth. He's Garth.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I mean, even Garth got a girlfriend though, so maybe there's hope for Proctor after all.
No, I don't think so.
No? Better hope for Proctor than there is for Harris. If those are the pickup lines.
Fair.
Right? I'm sure there's someone out there for Proctor.
You know what? If Zed taught us anything, there is somebody for everybody.
Right. But then you have the actual bad guy in this one, Rene Auberjonois as Tony. Your thoughts on him and this whole diamond heist thing?
Hey, Odo. I love it. You know, it's so funny because watching it, I was like, oh, that's the guy from the baddie from Weekend at Bernie's. And then I'm like, no,
it's not.
No, that's Odo. Oh my God. He played it so well and such a like bumbling, fumbling criminal. Like it's almost kind of like, I think I wanted to see a little bit more. Like I wanted to be afraid of him, you know? He was just such a daft criminal that like literally you could, you know, somehow talk the diamonds away from him. Like he's just so dumb.
See,
and I think it works for the movie.
It absolutely works for the movie and the audience that they're going towards. I do need to point out that this is like the second Star Trek character that we have talked about in a villain role in a very lowly rated film on this show. Of course, we're talking about Rene Auberjonois from Star Trek Deep Space Nine in a 0% score. The time before this, of course, is when we had to talk about Brent Spiner in The Master of Disguise, which currently sits at a 1% tomatometer over at Rotten Tomatoes.
So what are you saying?
I'm saying
Star Trek is full of baddies?
Don't come back to Earth. If you are in a Star Trek show, stay in space. Stay in space. But no, the thing is, you're looking for a Saturday morning cartoon. He feels like a Hanna-Barbera Saturday morning cartoon villain. All you needed was like a dog beside him going, that kind of thing.
Kind of like the big dog with the bowl cut.
Yes. Right? But that's the thing.
I love him and hug him and call him George.
But you need someone to be able to have fun with it. And he's even said, like, yeah, I had fun with it and I'd do it again. Because I'm sure this was a fun production to be a part of. But the best scenes for him in this film, personal opinion, are the scenes during when they take Lassard hostage.
Oh my God, yeah.
Right? Because Lassard is very much in that mindset of like, oh, this is all just part of a simulation. Because I guess they do this thing every year at this police convention. They have some, you know, real world style simulation where everyone kind of, has to react to the reality of everything. And they're just having fun. The two of them on screen together looked like they were having such a blast filming this movie.
Oh, I love the handshake too, where he had to kind of like untie his hands to give him a handshake.
Right? But even when you get to the point where Tony brings him to, his boss and brings the diamonds back, and then he's got to kill Lassard. And you can see that along the way, he's actually liked Lassard's like, you've been so good and the best, the best hostage. And like, it's such a fun moment. And then of course, like when they're speeding around on those, like whatever, like swamp rider kind of things that they're riding, like they look like they were having the most fun. That's the thing. This film, I think, I definitely agree, is unfairly maligned because everyone in the cast looks like they're having a ton of fun making this film. And general rule of thumb, you go watch a band. Go to a bar, watch a cover band. Okay? And if they're having fun, I guarantee you're going to have fun. Right? You watch a comedian, if he's having a good time or they're having a good time, you're going to have a good time. This film looks like it was just a joy, like a pure, fun romp joy for everyone involved, which is why I think I had more fun watching this than I have of some of the other films. Like, I know you love 4. I know you stan Citizens on Patrol like there's no tomorrow. In a weird tournament, I think this is actually one of my favorite Police Academy films.
I can see that, and I completely agree where you're going, that everybody was having a great time from the moment that they were on the airplane, and just like the little, almost like character plot holes that they were falling into, like you've got like Callahan with her tops, with her breasts exposed.
you can say it.
Voluptuous.
You can get away with it.
The voluptuous boob shot, right? And she's got this like really annoying seatmate who's smoking a cigar and just kind of sleazy. And and then you've got like House that, okay, again, this is where they drew upon his size, and he switches seats and the whole plane, is off kilter until he sits back in his chair. And I mean, even with Tackerberry and his his police stick, but it gave all the characters that moment to shine and really, be themselves. And it was just funny. It was just funny.
Yeah. And it felt fresh though. That's the thing. Like if you had another movie of them doing something at the academy or doing something in the town, it would feel kind of stale. This felt fresh. I mean, and this is why sitcoms in the 80s and sometimes even the 90s, would have episodes where, they're on vacation. Like, every time like Saved by the Bell went to like Vegas or went to the beach kind of thing, where Leah Remini was part of the cast for a little bit. And, why Growing Pains would occasionally go on vacation. Like, change it up a touch.
I think that's exactly it, is that it was team building.
Yes.
Right? You've got the police cadets, old and new, from all through 5 movies now. And they're all established police officers. They've all gone through the training. But yet they all still have their own characters. They all have their own personalities. But then because they're on vacation, they're working vacation, but because they're on vacation, they can kind of let loose a little bit more.
Yeah.
And really let their true self shine.
Oh, absolutely. All right, so we have come to the end of Police Academy 5. We've only got 2 more movies in this franchise after this. So this will be one stretch longer than when we did the Sharknado films, even though we only did 4 episodes because the first 2 Sharknados didn't qualify, but we still watched all 6 of them. So I'm very curious to hear who your MVP is from Police Academy 5, Assignment Miami Beach.
I have been waiting for this one, and I am going to finally get to choose Hooks. And I am going to give her the props and the recognition that she so deserves.
Mm-hmm.
And just say, go girl. Like, you've got the voice, you just have to find it.
Yeah. This is definitely the finest Hooks moment of the entire franchise so far. Completely agree with you, except for the fact that she's not my MVP.
Oh, well, okay. You agree with me.
I agree with you
until you don't agree with me.
I agree with you that Hooks is definitely up there on the list of MVP candidates, but I'm sorry. This is a Commandant Lassard film. This is George Gaines at his most freaking lovable in this franchise. And it felt, like I said, the film almost felt like a thank you to what George Gaines has brought to the franchise. So, hat tip to George Gaines and the character of Commandant Lassard. It was a joy for this film.
And is that Captain Harris's straw hat that was set on fire that you're using to tip?
No, that hat was sadly and probably thankfully destroyed by a whole lot of bourbon and then dishwater. No one's using that hat to tip anything ever again. Carrie, thank you so much for this. And to you, our dear listeners, 2 more Police Academy films to go, and then grading on a curve to wrap up the year that was 2025. But until next time, you guys know the drill. If there is a movie out there that you think is unfairly maligned or is so bad that there is no way on the beach that we can find anything good to say about it, hit us up on social media at NotThatBadcast or go to our website at NotThatBadcast.com. Make sure you subscribe to the page because that is where you're going to get the most accurate and up-to-date notifications of whenever we drop new podcast episodes. Until next time, she's Carrie, I'm Jay. You guys are awesome. This is It's Not That Bad, a proud member of the Pantheon Podcast Network.
Hey everyone, Brian Slagle here, founder of Metal Blade Records. You know, I spent my whole entire life trying to make metal history, make metal better, and promote metal as much as I can. And now there's a brand new way for you to test your metal knowledge and relive those iconic moments. It's called Metal Mondays, the official metal trivia game from Metal Blade and Pantheon Media, and it's free to play right now. Every Monday, a new game drops. From Slayer, Supremacy, Death, Metal 101, 80s, Metal Blade Classics, and tons more. You'll battle it out on the leaderboards, win killer prizes, and even score some exclusive Metal Blade merch. So if you think you know your riffs, your legends, and your deep cuts, prove it. Download Hit Replay on the App Store or Google Play, or head to metalbladerecords.com/Metal Mondays and start playing today. Because in metal, there's no off days, only Metal Mondays. Metal Mondays. Play loud, play true, and play to win.